Funny, isn't it, when you've got people, well, for me, people coming in, you might have this, if you think of somebody and you think about them a lot, and then you suddenly get things going through your head, and I've had She Don't Use Jelly and Oklahoma when the dun-dun.
Oh, well, there you go. That's nice, yeah.
Just because you're from there, and I can't
Rodgers
get the
and
damn
Hammerstein,
tune.
is that what that is? Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I can't get the damn tune out of my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome.
Well, thank you, Janice. Thank you for having us, yeah.
Oh, no, we are chuffed to bits that Wayne, Stephen and Michael Flaming Lips in the studio with us. And we were actually tempted. I left it a bit late and thought about coming in a suit of, a duck-billed platypus, maybe.
Exactly,
but
right.
to ring the changes.
Well, exactly, yeah.
But I couldn't find anything.
But it's on the radio anyway, so you could have just said you're in a suit.
Well,
you mean just to entertain us?
Right.
I could have, too honest.
I mean, you look lovely the way you are, but we could say you're in some sort of
in this little
costume,
outfit.
Some camel.
I've got to ask you about that because
purple camel, yeah.
I heard that at Glastonbury, because they were competition winners who were, allowed to get up and be there in God, they must have been hot in those suits. But journalists, money started changing hands, and they were saying to the competition winners, here's a pile of dosh if I can have that suit.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Well, you're wondering if we're going to confirm if the money was being exchanged, and of course, I hope there was. That would really make it sort of an important moment to be up there on stage with us. But I didn't see any money exchanging hands. If the cops are listening, no. No. I mean, this whole thing of dressing up and. We would have never thought, and we still wonder why it is so fascinating. But I think somewhere along the way, you see people up there doing it, and it makes you think, why not? That just looks like a lot of fun, and people are sort of just get out of their heads and just sort of, I don't know, it adds some air of ridiculousness to the whole thing, because it's all ridiculous anyway. I mean, people forget, people up there sort of singing songs about who knows what they're singing about. It is kind of ridiculous anyway.
And Glastonbury is such a fantastic event, isn't it?
Totally was, yeah.
Something that you've not seen the like of before. And of course, you did a brilliant gig there this summer.
Well, we were just lucky that we had the spot, just before Radiohead.
Yeah.
And I think that, everybody was already over on that side of the mountain or the field, whatever it is that you call it, and they're ready for Radiohead, and then they get us with our sun costumes and our film screens and all that sort of stuff, and to have the contrast between the way Radiohead comes across, it's very like we're serious, it's art, and it's
intense.
It is, it's intense, and it's a little gloomy or whatever. I think it's awesome, but in contrast to what sometimes the way we present ourselves is sort of like, we're a cartoon. Life could be a cartoon.
It's showbiz as well, isn't it?
Sure,
what I mean? And people like a show.
Right, and I think that the audience can handle that there's a variety from one band to the next and say, we can like this, and it can be silly, and it can be serious, and we can like another thing, and it can be of a different sort of, dimension.
I must ask you, because you're all, it would appear to be away from home for such a long time.
Sure, yeah.
You're constantly working, aren't you? And are you living in hotels, or have any of you, bought places here?
No. We were lucky a couple of years ago when we would get here for long stints. We would actually just have an apartment where you could buy some groceries and you could do some laundry and stuff like that. But no, I mean we stay in nice hotels and we have a nice bus, and we don't look at ourselves in this sort of troubadour kind of way. I mean, I think people like Willie Nelson, when you think of them, these guys who have done it forever, they literally live on the road. They carry pictures of their families and have them in the bus, where we don't. We look at it as like, this is temporary. Even though we may be out for 6 weeks at a time, it really is, we're out there to play shows, and then we're just going to go home. And I think if you're lucky, you can keep a perspective of what it's like to be a person at home listening to music. And that's what we want to do. We want to make records for people who are just have regular jobs and are going to listen to music and be entertained by it. And sometimes I think bands do have a tendency to get caught up in their own world. And what entertains someone who's been on the road for 18 months is going to be different than what entertains someone who perhaps just, works a regular job. And so, we want to be able to relate to the audience. When they come in to see us, they've not seen us play 100 times that year the way we have. And so we say, this is going to be marvelous, instead of, we hate being here. This here
sucks. We go again.
Yeah, just walk in, yeah.
But you, well, not all of you are in Oklahoma now, are you? You're still at the compound, are you?
You called it that, exactly, the compound.
The compound.
Yeah, the compound.
And that sounds kind of cultish in a way. But yeah, and Stephen lives in New York, and Michael now lives across the river from. Is it Cincinnati? Yeah, he just moved there.
North
as
Kentucky.
We started this.
He's Kentucky.
Exactly. Yeah. She knows. There you go.
That's because he told me.
Well, there you
I'm
go.
not being clever.
But but we've done this for so long, and there is certain times where we'll all get together and just sort of do stuff. But you find that music is a concoction of your mind, not necessarily, where you're. It's not a place. You don't have to go anywhere. People always wonder. It's like, why'd you guys stay in Oklahoma? Why didn't you go somewhere else? And I was like, well, why? Music is something that's just in your head. It's not in New York City. It's
you don't
not
need to be in that particular place, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, fantastic. I noticed that you've got the laptop there, you've got the Steinway guitar, and the Celeste has been brought.
Exactly.
I love this.
Yeah,
when people use everything, it's brilliant. Brilliant. So what tune are you going to do first?
We are going to do a sort of a quieter, unproduced rendition of a song that's on the Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots record with a weird title to it. It's called Ego Tripping at the Gates of Hell.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And we've never played it before. So
we haven't. So here we go, Janice, just
nice
for you.
One.
Yeah.
Go ahead, buddy.
You got to get close to that microphone now.
Just ego tripping. We're just slipping all away. I was wanting you to love me, but your love, it never came. Was just wasting all away. I must have been true. Was just wasting
That was all right.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
We're winging it.
Fans are just going to love that because that is just so special.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Flaming Lips Wayne, Stephen and Michael, and Ego Tripping at the Gates of Hell. So, Christmas on Mars, not overdosing on chocky bars, but on the planet.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And this is the movie.
This is the movie that we've started working on it. The beginning of 2001.
Yeah.
And we were working on, like 3 different things at once. We're working on the Christmas on Mars movie and, soundtrack and doing all that sort of stuff. We were also working on a movie that a friend of ours was doing called Okie Noodling.
Okie Noodling?
Yeah, which is sort of
what's
noodling
that?
is a term that they've used for this weird sort of fishing that they do. They catch these giant catfish, and what they do is they stick their arms in these holes that are under the bank of the little, river there.
Down the mouth.
And instead of using rods and hooks and stuff, they put their arms down in these holes and they grab the fish, and the fish bites onto their arm and they pull it up. So anyway, he was doing this fabulous documentary about these guys doing this weird fishing. And he's a friend of ours. His name is Brad Beasley, and he's the guy helping me do our movie as well. So we were caught up in doing all these movies, soundtracks, and things. At the same time, we were doing this Pink Robots record. This all happening from like 2001 until the middle of 2002 when the record came out.
Busy head then.
Well, you just start doing stuff. You don't think about it too much. But then as the Pink Robots record sort of was getting released, you start getting busier doing promotion and stuff like that. And that really has not stopped.
No.
Yet. And so in January, we go to Australia, and we get back from Australia. That's when we think we're going to start to work on the movie again.
Right, because it's all about a space project, money runs out, people stuck on Mars, using the capsules to turn them into homes, don't they?
Well,
is that it?
There's a vagueness as to really what's going on. It depends on... I don't really have a script, Janice. I've got
it's not futuristic,
well,
though,
it's not meant to be
anything.
Right. It's like, I tell people, it's either in the future or the past, or just sort of it exists as a moment in time of people living on Mars. But all of it is really, a vehicle to sort of exaggerate the human condition, like all great art, right?
Yes. Okay, yeah.
And so, but I'm trying to tell this, a little bit, some drama and some beauty and some hope for the Christmas season. It just happens to be told in a Flaming Lips kind of way. It's a bunch of
And your Father Christmas is a Martian, from what I can gather.
Of course, yeah.
Stephen is Major Scientist?
Major Scientist, yeah.
It's not a sexually transmitted disease or anything.
It sounds horrible. It's a term. I had an encyclopedia that had all the locations that they had named already on the planet Mars, and so I was just using that as my references there.
But what I do like about it, and whether this is true or not, I don't know, but it will be a visceral event in that you can eat, you can drink, you go, and and the sound and the snow.
That's what I'm hoping, that we can present the movie in a kind of Flaming Lips exaggerated way, and and not to say that a movie experience isn't already good the way it is, but sometimes. A lot of the way that you see films in America now, they're very small little theaters, and there's 20 theaters within one complex, and so the screens are small and the sound is low simply because there's so many of them jammed together. If you make it loud, everybody would hear everybody else's movie. And of course, you can't get too drunk, and you can't smoke, and you can't have sex in the seats or any of that good stuff.
It's all changed, doesn't it?
So I'm saying, if we present this movie in the way that we present our shows, even if it's not the greatest movie ever made, you'll be able to have a great time just being there.
Fab.
And, we'll have snow machines and smoke machines and beds.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. Janice wants us to bring beds to the
Yeah, I think it'd be so you could have an area, Very good. Right, we're going to have another tune. What are you going to do now?
We are going to do... Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. That's sort of the title track, and it's sort of done with a little bit more of a melancholy sort of feel to it or something. Yeah, yeah. Here we go.
Her name is Yoshimi. She's a black belt in karate, working for the city. She has to discipline her body, 'cause she knows that it's demanding to defeat those evil machines. I know she can beat them. Oh, Yoshimi, they don't believe me, but you wouldn't let those robots eat me, Yoshimi. They don't believe me, but you wouldn't let those robots defeat me. Those evil-natured robots, they're programmed to destroy us. She's gotta be strong to fight them. So she's taking lots of vitamins, 'cause she knows that. It'd be tragic if those evil robots win. I know she can beat them. Oh, Yoshimi, they don't believe me, but you wouldn't let those robots eat me, Yoshimi. They don't believe me, but you wouldn't let those robots defeat me, Yoshimi.
Right. God, I'm knocked out. That was brilliant. I have got goosebumps. I'm just absolutely, and I've pulled my headphones out. I've just overcome. That was so wonderful.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
That was nice, yeah.
Right. So, Michelle Vlasimirski.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
These were not normal guys from normal families. You're talking about freaks.
Right, well, this is...
And you say, we're just normal guys trying to make interesting music.
Well, but I think any time that a person removes themselves from the norm of society, I think it's a mistake. I think you would find that if you examined anybody's life, regardless of who they were, you'd find somewhere in there they do weird things. And so being weird in some aspects of your life is really normal. So I'm saying we're normal guys, but that doesn't mean that we don't want to do things that we think are interesting and exciting. So being in a band allows us to do all kinds of, hopefully, intense things and making interesting music. If we're lucky, we get to do that.
And I think that the words that spring to mind is exuberance and joy and...
Well, yeah. I mean, I think anytime you stand in front of the art that people make, whether it's a painting, a movie, or music, or any of that, when it's doing its job, you can sort of know the person by, sort of just experiencing their art. And I don't think in any way did we ever think that we were these joyful, enthusiastic, optimistic people until we started listening. We hear our own music, and after a while it's like, we seem to find a way, regardless of the tragedy that that we're trying to talk about, we find some light to shine in there. And I think our music, and that it speaks more of that than even if we were standing in front of you. Because I hear it in there as well. But I don't think we think to try to put it in there, or we think, that's our message or whatever. I think it's just, if you do enough stuff, you just rub off on each other, and that's what you're hearing.
Fab working with the Chemical Brothers, I bet.
Well, that's both the good and the bad things about having computers that, you can send each other files.
So you don't actually.
So you don't. But like I said, sometimes that's good because working with artists it can be strange and confrontational. And I know a lot of times when artists get together, they don't actually say what they really mean. Someone will play a track that they absolutely hate. And, they say, what do you think? And you're like, oh, that's all right. And what you really mean is, that's crap, but you'd never say that, And that's the uncomfortable side of it. And a lot of times if you're working and all the ideas are good and everybody agrees, it can be great. But I think because you can work with computers these days and people don't have to sit in the same room and their schedules don't have to collide in any sort of way, that's how we felt like we could work with the Chemical Brothers and still maintain the sort of schedule we were doing. Because we also did a thing with Tom Jones in the same way.
That's right, yeah.
Where, we sent him tracks and he simply sang on it. And so, a little bit of the magic of the collaborations of just being there may be gone. But I think the other side of it is much better because you're just relaxed and you're just doing whatever you want and you don't have to bicker back and forth to say, what do you think of this or that? Because to me, I think those types of things always become a little bit of a compromise. Because when you're there with someone, you'd rather be agreeable and have a great time, even if it's not making great, interesting music. But in this way, working with computers, you do what you think is interesting and you shoot it back to them and they can listen to it without you standing right in front of them.
One thing I must mention before you do your final tune, what is it with American bands and ELO? Because was it ELO?
Well, we don't have as much of an obsession as...
What do you mean?
Well, I just read that you love ELO. And I think, didn't you run...
Yeah,
right. Maybe it was a Dylan gig where you ran down to the front. Oh, no, it was an ELO gig. One of your first gigs and you ran down the front or something.
I did. I was telling someone the story just the other day. I was going to see Bachman Turner Overdrive. I'm 42 years old, so I was seeing concerts, in the mid-'70s. And one of my first concerts, I saw Bachman Turner Overdrive, and the opening band was Electric Light Orchestra. And back in those days, you could simply go to the very front of the stage. And I had literally sat on stage with the ELO guys and those big sticks that come out of the bottom of the cellos.
cello.
I actually grabbed that while they were playing something like Roll Over Beethoven, which is what their encore was or something like that, I'm sure. Right. But I remember sitting on stage, and afterwards people would come up to me and say, hey, you were the guy sitting on stage grabbing the guy's cello poker there. And it was the greatest thing ever. And then I think it was literally a couple nights later, one of my older brothers had an extra ticket to see The Who.
Oh, wow.
And I said, The Who, really? I've never really heard of them. Don't they do a song called Pinball Wizard? And then he took me on the back of his motorcycle and we went to see The Who. And I thought, wow, now that's fantastic rock and roll.
ELO's from Birmingham, right?
That's right.
Oh, there you go.
That's right. Jeff Lynne and all that crew.
Do you know them?
No.
You should have said yes.
Because I've only recently moved here.
Oh, I see.
But I gather that when not Arsenal, Birmingham City go out on the pitch, they go... to Mr. Blue Sky.
Oh,
Everybody
see.
sings that.
Right.
According to somebody I know who works here.
Well, yeah. And so I would say that I think there's a certain selection of ELO tunes that we would all think are great, great songs. But I don't think we wouldn't have everything that they've done. No.
I wasn't joking. It was just that Granddaddy mentioned, they love ELO.
They are ELO in a lot of ways. Yes, exactly. So,
and
but we love all music. I mean, there would be sections of all music that some people would think, ooh, that's horrible, that's untouchable. But, to be a musician, it's great to have such a big variety and different things to listen to. Who would want to just listen to one kind of music?
Too right.
Yeah, that'd be like eating at the same pizza restaurant.
I don't believe people who say that they're only into one thing. You can't be that narrow because everybody likes a bit of this, bit of that. And
I know. Well, they're missing out. Even if they do, they're missing out. Yeah. I mean, having different stuff to listen to is that's the joy of living. Huh? Yeah.
Well, do you know what? It's been fab, and you're going to do another tune, aren't you?
We are. What are we going to do now? Oh, we're going to do this new song. We're right. This is a song called Sunship Balloons. And people think that this song is actually about sex because one of the lines in it says, let's do it once, let's do it twice, let's do it all night. Now that sounds... It sounds
pretty horny.
It does, but it's not. It means it's the song hints at that whatever your problems are, whatever the thing that you're trying to get to, let's just keep working at it. Right, let's just keep trying, and we will find a way. And somewhere in it hints at this sort of, what is it, sort of some fantastical adventure of flying to the sun or something like that. And yet we don't know how to get there. And
I like the sex angle better.
Yeah, it was interesting at that bit.
See, I tried to make it more cosmic.
I was thinking of that. What was that Captain and Tennille song? Do it to me one more time.
Right.
Once is never enough with a man like you.
And I never got anything cosmic out of that.
No,
I
didn't.
thought it was a horny woman begging a rich man to just...
I was confusing with Muskrat Love. Remember that one? Now that's cosmic.
That's not horny.
Wow. All right. But my song isn't about that.
No, so...
But I like the idea that you could think that it's sexy, but then it becomes cosmic later on. How about that?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Good. Go.
Now listen, I don't know the intentions or the dimensions of outer space, Janice, but if our ability to feel love turns out in the big picture to be just a cosmic accident, well, I'd like to think this means that the universe is on our side, all right? Ha!
Let's do it once. Let's do it twice. Let's do it all night till the sunrise comes too soon. In our sunship balloons.
Now listen.
I don't care, 'cause we're gonna find a way to fly to the sun. Oh, that's you and me. Let's do it once, taking power sunships fly. Let's do it twice, let the sun shine. Let's do it all night till the sunrise. Let's do it once, taking power sunships fly. Let's do it twice, sun and shine. Let's do it all night till the sunrise.
Well, there you go, Dave. Janice, let's see. We'll do it all night till the sunrise.
I like the sex version, actually. Sunship Balloons. And right now, I feel the luckiest person on the planet. I really do. And I just can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you. All right. Yeah.
It's fantastic. And I'll remind everybody about forthcoming dates in a moment. We will also have the competition where we've got Flaming Lip stuff to give away. And once again, thank you.
All right. Well, thanks. It was fun.
You.
Yeah.
It's been very, very special. Shall I play ELO?
If you want, sure. Yeah.
No, it's up to you.
Can't get out of my head. Was that a hit over here?
Can't get it out of my head is the one.
Go on. Well, that's just for you. That's my present
there
to you.
Go.
Right.
Thank you.
Or you could have had something else. I mean, you don't have to.
I think that's wonderful.
That's
sure.
the
Yeah.
Very welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
All right.
you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you, Janice. All right.
Flaming Lips.